the new Mini is a Lovemark. They're things that people actually say, I love my Mini. Rolex, yeah. They're not just luxury, but they can be luxury things. Just to give you a contrast with that, if you think, here's an interesting one. MP3 players are commodities. There's any number of them around. But the iPod is a Lovemark. iPod has just whipped right through the brand bit, gone straight to the heart. How many people have got iPods here? How do you feel about them? Okay. How many people got a new Mini? Has anyone got a new Mini? Okay. I'll give you another sort of more hard-nosed one. There's some what's the program called? Not Crime Watch. Watchdog. They did this week on Watchdog. I'm told, although I didn't see it myself, there was a review of banks and what people thought about banks. So the survey. Barclays came out very badly. People didn't like Barclays. They didn't think it was crooked or it was going to run off with their money or fall apart. But they didn't like it. Guess what came out on top? First Direct. Now, sometimes when I mention this, people say, well, I don't like First Direct. Fair enough. There's always exceptions. But by and large, the people of Great Britain, and I'm one of them, actually use the love word about that brand. Because when I ring them up, they answer the phone. A person answers the phone, I mean. An actual person. Which is not, you can't say that of all banks. So, you get the idea. Something has happened here to these brands that's dragged them into a new place. And in a moment I'll talk to you about why I think that's so important. But I'll give you one more example. PCs, as in personal computers, massively commoditised. There's thousands of them, any number of them. If you're setting up a small business, or you're buying a PC, how do you make a choice? And you're familiar with that concept of the misery of choice. So PCs, hugely commoditised, really difficult to make a decision about. If you're setting up a small business, I was told when I set up my business in 2005, Dell is a good brand. It was personally recommended to me by other small businessmen. For a variety of reasons, they said Dell is a very good brand. And indeed it is a good brand for small business. And they've structured their company so that they service small business pretty well. And forgive me if you've heard me say this before, but I couldn't buy Dell. And the reason I couldn't buy Dell is because I was already married. And what I was married to was that, the Mac. And when I say, it's a bit of a cheap gag, I know, but I'm serious about it, that I couldn't, it was inconceivable for me to buy a Dell computer, even though I knew there were various logistical problems with going Mac whenever the world around me was so PCish. But I've been using these since 1994, and I have yet to be persuaded that there's any possible reason why one should ever use anything except a Mac. So you see the difference. You can go from a commodity to being like any old PC to a brand like Dell, and more in the consumer brands of PCs, things like Toshiba, Sony, brands that are quite nicely styled, quite high spec. Sony ones are quite classy and elegant. But Mac is a different thing altogether. Anyway, that's the difference. That's what Lovemarks mean. Fads, commodities, brands, Lovemarks. Which do you want to be is the simple question. Why are Lovemarks important? A number of reasons. Okay, they give you loyalty. Loyalty, to use Roberts' phrase, beyond reason. In other words, it goes way beyond just, I need it, it works, it's jolly good, it's the right price. It's something like the nice thing about the Mac. It gives you a sort of passionate loyalty so that you'll take someone out into the playground and fight them over it. That's very important. Why is it important? Because we all screw up. All companies screw up. If you're a Lovemark and you screw up, in the technical term is you have a product crisis, but we'll call it screwing up. If you're a Lovemark, you stand a much better chance of being forgiven. And that's quite an important difference.